You sound like you are confident about electoral process in Nigeria to say, okay, if we organize ourselves, for instance, like you are doing with the MOP, we can change things around if we go in and contest. You sound like you have confidence, but a lot of people do not.
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely have confidence in what I'm trying to do, but now what other people think about it that are not doing anything different for me is, what is the alternative? The Nigerian people should go and fight and die and kill themselves. I repeat, if we're going to form new nations, fighting with the Fulani is not the first thing that Igbo people should do. Fighting with the Fulani people is not the first thing Yoruba people should do. Yoruba people must begin to, first of all, become sovereign in our economics, in our agriculture, in our power. This is where the conversation starts. The conversation is a highly intellectual one. It's not an agitation. To build a Yoruba nation is not an agitation. You understand? So we create a Yoruba nation. What happens to Yoruba people in Benin, in Togo, in Ghana? What responsibilities do this Yoruba nation have to all the Yoruba children, scattered all over the world? Because if you are truly going to talk about Yoruba revolution, you must really begin to think, okay, what destroyed the Yoruba in the first place? Are we still going to allow the descendants of slave traders that weakened us so that Europeans can dominate us and take over our things and all our land and all our resources? What makes us Yoruba? Is it only when we want to kill other African people in the name of Yoruba nation that we are Yoruba? Or we are Yoruba in our daily lives, in our spirituality, in our cultural? Are we Yoruba in agitation only? Are we Yoruba only when we want to hate the Fulani people? Because I know we are not Yoruba when we grow food in our so-called farms that these Fulani people are destroying, and other Yoruba people cannot afford the food that we are growing. We generally are not Yoruba when we have hospitals that Yoruba people cannot afford to attend or come to get treatment. So this is our Yoruba thing. How far does it truly go? And how do we want to start the nation? These are the questions that I've always asked. Food security is paramount to nation building. If the people inside the nation are hungry, there's no nation. So can Yoruba people feed themselves, or we still rely on the Fulani that we hate so much to provide all the pepper that we eat? Because Yoruba nation without pepper, Yoruba nation without pepper, they go shee all the leaders. So if Yoruba people go 2 weeks, jata. You hear the first pepper wars of Africa. You think SARS for something? Don't give Yoruba people pepper for 2 weeks. You see, they'll chop, they cook, no pepper. 2 weeks anywhere Yoruba land. Ija, war. Whoever gave us that advice will first turn on them. Why did you tell us Hausa people would not give us pepper again? It is ridiculous, So food security is the first thing we must discuss.
Well, part of the reason some are even pulling up the agitation or the idea or advocacy for regionalism, or let's go back to regional government, is that our resources should stay here. And then, would you therefore welcome the idea of the VAT, advocacy to say, let's states take their VAT?
As Nigerian people, once again, let me reiterate, I don't care what our oppressors do. I care now what Nigerian people do. I have not seen VAT money before. I don't know whether anybody discussing this VAT issue with governors and government, they've seen the benefit of this VAT before. The small that they were collecting before. Have you seen the benefit in your life before? So they increase the VAT. The governor is fighting for more money to steal. What has that got to do with Nigerian people or the citizens of that state? We know that VAT will not correspond to our existence, will not relate to the quality of our lifestyle improving. In fact, if care is not taken, these governors will now become even more tyrannical in the aspect that they now have more money to fund their personal ambitions, or rather fund their personal departments, because that's what their states have become in this company that is called Nigeria, So I don't care about VAT. I don't care about anything in Nigeria that does not directly correlate to us organizing ourselves to remove these tyrants from power. You know, there is no difference between them. You know, any way, shape, or form. Whether they have VAT, whether they don't have VAT. You know, if you like, give Gombe governor, you know, 500 billion more than you are giving him right now. It doesn't mean Gombe people will be 500 billion. That 500 billion will be relative to their. If you like, go and give Osun governor. You know, I'm looking for a state with small VAT, Abi. Osun governor, go and give him another 5 trillion.
But let us come back to MOP and addressing all these issues. I mean, MOP is a political movement. Will it be registered as a political party? Will it also be running? And are you considering 2023 or before then or beyond? And finally, what are the strategies to beat all these ones, APC, PDP, with their INEC? Their own INEC.
I don't think INEC or anything. I mean, let's Nigerians first of all cut INEC some slack. You know, INEC does what the politicians want when Nigerian people are not involved in the election. There's no election that the Nigerian people will involve themselves in and anybody can rig. The reason why elections are rigged in Nigeria is because there is voter apathy. Already there are many million PVC in Nigeria. How many people come out to vote in the first place? Many people with PVC themselves don't even come out to vote. Why? Because they don't believe in the political process. No, they don't believe in the process that it will yield an outcome. They don't believe that the process represents them. You understand? So voter apathy is the real reason why there's a lot of ability for our oppressors to rig election. And they also want people to be apolitical so that they can be voters apathy, so that people can see the election day as a holiday, a day to just rest at home. In fact, to see the space between the next election and in the election cycle, to see that space, that gap that they should fill with with people orientated programs to prepare us for our next election, to see it as the next 4 years, just the next 4 years, you know, just this gap before the next election cycle, you know, without understanding that, you know, our oppressors, they organize daily, they meet daily, they are in different organizations together, different unions together, planning, meeting, day and night. But although they have the resources and the time, you know, they make it difficult for Nigerian people, African people in general, anywhere in the world, to organize due to the hectic economic implications of organization. And when I say economic implication, I mean sometimes it is as if it is either you struggle and organize for your freedom or you work for the oppressor. There's no middle ground. So it's not as if they will sack you. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you wake up at 4 in the morning every day. Some people, majority of the people that should organize for Nigerian liberation, wake up 4, 5 in the morning and they are in commute to work till 9, finish work at 5, 6, then they have to commute again in traffic due to bad road network, limited road network, limited transportation network, deliberate, because these are deliberate things. You know, nobody can tell me that it's this difficult to build trains and subway. I was in Constantine, a town in Algeria, and they had a very integrated tram system. And this place was in the mountain and valley, you know, so not even land at all. You know, really mountainous. I was saying to the guy, man, you people have a really sophisticated, not train, tram system. This is the train that drives with cars, that rides in the city with cars. Looks like a car, you know, rides like a car in the city, you know. Very good integrated, you know, like, but I'm taking your government 20 years to build this. I was like, no. So it took them 18 months or something like that. And the reason why it took that long was because it took them time to find the routes, because of the terrain, to find routes for the train, for the tram. You know, I just looked at him like this, I shook my head. I said,
You have not finished building Lagos Ibadan Expressway 20 years.
These 18 months you're talking about is the amount of time it will take Nigerian government to dig the rail, just to dig the ground that they want to put the rail in one street. Not the entire system. One street will be inconvenienced for 18 months while they dig it. You know, and before they even now come back to it, that thing don't close. You have to start again. Oh. So I mean, I was so the speed at which our politicians execute personal projects. Even when people tell me that, oh, Awolowo built primary school, I say this thing has been. These people are picked by colonial masters. Read your history, you find that from Awolowo, Zik, Sadauna, all of them, they are the same, you know, puppets. With personal, all they know is their personal ambition. You know, we've never truly had Pan-Africanist rulers in Nigeria. You understand? The people that could have been Pan-Africanist, the Pan-Africanist rulers of Nigeria were pushed out of the political game, pushed out of the political system, hounded. My grandmother killed everybody. So, Pa Imodu, do you even hear about Pa Imodu anymore in the circles? Or it comes to Labor Day. Because these are the men that should have ruled this country. Because they're the ones that fought for the independence of this country. Truly. Not to Igbo people just suddenly bringing Awolowo and Zik and Sadana to the forefront of their political discussions. You know, that's how they do it. The people are coming. Yeah, where are our stooges? We are going to start discussions now with Awolowo. What do you want to do? But it's about women's riot that creates the reason why you want to talk. But you don't talk. You don't want to talk to the leaders of the About Women's movement. You understand? You want to talk to your sophisticated lawyers that you have trained in your universities to see things your way, and don't worry, we'll help you. This civilizing mission will continue. You know. So I tell people, I say the only reason why he built any school or any, because he had the personal ambition of ruling Nigeria, of becoming the prime minister, and all his actions, the one that led him to jail. When he came out, the acting the thing in Biafra during the war, his positions against his own initial positions. You understand? Because you, man, you've said that Nigeria is nothing but than a geographical expression, a British experiment. You understand? Now somebody is trying to, you know, they are doing Biafra, you are supporting the experiment. You know, as federal minister, you say nothing about against the war. So I mean, that means his ambition. Everything is ambition. You know, nobody stand on something. And Nigeria need leaders that are willing to stand on something. That are willing to say, okay, this is what we stand on, you know, take it or leave it. You know, so this for me is the real issue. You know, Nigerians have the power, if they are willing to organize, to remove these politicians from office easily. You know, but the fact that we believe those that we shouldn't, you know, we allow them to have a say when they've already had their say. You know, it's the turn of the Nigerian people. I keep saying it's the turn of the Nigerian people. You know, the military have done their own, the aristocrats have done their own. You know, look at all our government. It's filled with children of Obas and all these things. They're all in government in one position or another. Maybe not elected position, you know, but appointed. They are all there in this system. They have had their goal. And as long as we put them there, it's the status quo that they want to maintain. So their INEC is the people's INEC. It is our ability to claim what is ours. It is not their father's money they're using to fund this, their INEC. You understand? It is because the owners of INEC have not decided to own INEC. You know? We are playing outside in the rain. If Nigerian people decide to vote for a party or a candidate and defend their votes, who is that can stop that kind of a movement? Nobody can. It is because they understand that they have invested enough in our distraction so as to create apathy. You know.
Can you tell us how will MOP breach this? Because you have been able to identify that, okay, the system wants it this way. The people are not yet ready to own the INEC and the rest.
No, the people just don't know. So education is the key, right? What you didn't know yesterday, you can know it today, and it changes your life. And that is what the strategy for MOP is. So I understand that many of us as African people, due to our false education, the education is false, you know, and it puts us in a position where we are inferior, where we accept where the education basically tells you to accept your fate, accept where you are. You understand? The education we engage with is very dangerous for African people because it was a education invented by imperialists. You know, Europeans are imperialists. They want to expand and conquer. So they created an education to train young imperialists. You understand? So you that you are the victim of the imperialists, if you now engage in that ideology, you will definitely come out feeling inferior because the education is all against you. It's about taking from you. You know, and there's no way you will not recognize yourself in that, in your psyche. You recognize yourself in that education as the inferior. You understand? So this is the position that many Africans relate with the world from. And many Africans do not have the opportunity to break out of this. They've never had the opportunity. Many of us have had the opportunity to break out, use the opportunity to secure our position because we are too afraid of falling back inside. It's true. You know, so the number one duty of the MOP is to demystify this world to African people, to demystify these politicians, you know, to demystify the priests, to demystify education, you know, so that people begin to truly understand, you know, where they stand in this system, and to create the kind of mentality now that is not saying, oh, we want to reform this prison that we are all in. We want to reform it, or, you know, want to try and escape it. No. We're no longer now in the, Nigerians will no longer be in the position that they want to reform the prison guards, you know, try to see if they can behave better or escape the prison. No. We will internally begin to destroy the structures of the prison, dismantling the prison,